Okay, so let's start week 2. Probably we can. So I mentioned the channel that we'll be learning from the Amazon channel repository. So they are sort of up to date with the course of content of the course or JavaScript lesson. So we'll follow this one. So basically, we are following the week 3 in week 2 because we sort of missed the week 1, which is the Git session. So we'll do it next week. So it's just in a random order, we can say. Okay.
But in terms of JavaScript, we are following the progression that's needed. So I think some of them knows how to do Git. You're uploading your assignments in Git, right?
Yes. And in the week 1, we did it sort of in an unorganized way. I didn't follow this one, so probably I just quickly want to revisit the week 2 as well. Because here we didn't introduce the let and const in the last class, and also some boolean as a data type. I didn't introduce this one, so probably in half an hour we'll cover this section, and then the remaining ones will be go more in depth. Okay, so let's go to this let and const. So variables. Last week Marjahan demonstrated the variables, right? With the envelope, so you know the box and envelopes. We also already is gone. Anyway, so there's a variable like a placeholder, a box where you can store something, right? That's the idea. But now we have 2 more syntax for the similar purpose, which is called let and const. So do anyone have any idea what is let, what is const? Anyone?
It's the variable change and constantly it's has the same value.
It's a constant, right? So basically, the let and const is a two syntax. It's a replacement of the syntax called var. There was a, like, if you see the iPhone version, iPhone 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So like this, also we have a version in the JavaScript. So JavaScript called ES6, which is the latest and up-to-date modern version. So before that, we only using a var. So from ES6, they have introduced the 2 syntax, and it is recommended that you don't use var until you have some specific purpose. So var still exists, but there are some use cases, very few use cases. Whenever you see the use case, then you should use it. Otherwise, we always try to write our variable name with let and const. There's the 2 keywords. And let is the one that you can declare the variable and you can reassign the value all time. And const is like constant. You know the constant. Whenever you decide something and it's fixed, you don't change it. So that's the 2 basic, fundamental difference. We'll see with the example here. So for instance, we can go to the coding here. Okay, I don't want to do it now because first the idea is we will go to work to the theory first, and then we will try to solve some the homework exercise from the lesson. So that time we will do some coding and exercise. Yeah. So basically, all you need to create a variable, let. For instance, name 1. We just did some example. I want to copy the example from the homework we did with the name and array and stuff. So I don't assign the variable as a array, just a single string. So name 1. So if I say name 1, anyone, any name?
Zoe.
Zoe. Like this?
Yep.
And or you can say the new name. New name 2. Who is the person 2?
Underscores.
Yeah, it's okay. Oh, you
Okay.
not the recommended.
Follow the camel.
Yeah, not the recommended one. So it's good that you catch the thing. And what's the name?
Gary.
Can you please spell the name? G or J?
Like Gary.
Gary. G.
G A
R-Y.
R Y. Can you see here? Yeah. Okay, fine. So let's see, right? And then the idea is here. So I'm just printing everything in console. I'm not using this HTML because it will take time, to call the document.element.id. So for this purpose, I'm skipping this one. It's okay. So all we're doing it here in the console. Probably if you guys don't know about the console or this one, we'll do it separately. I can see from your nodding, probably you know this tool. Yeah. So here, right? And then if I next time if I decide to change the name to probably something else, right? And I'm printing here and it's changes, right? So, and it's not good idea. I don't know, it's not easy to change in real life, right? I cannot change Joey's name to something else. It's not allowed or possible, right? It's already fixed for this, at least for this life. So let's create this as a const, right? So, and see, in the first line, it execute the name Zoe and the Gary, right? And the second time, it's give me some alert. Okay, you're doing something I cannot handle. The name too is changing. The Gary, I want to change the SSS, right? And it says assign to constant variable. So here, this is complaining. So basically, in a situation that you see that you will not change the variable property value, then you use const. So always also the principal rule is always try to use the const first, and if you want to reuse the variable, rechange, then you change it to let. If you want to change it, then use the let and use it.
But if we're not sure,
if you're not sure, use the const always. And then, okay, I want to change the name anyhow, but let's say it's a world that is possible to change the name. So now you change it to call let. So default is const, then let, and if you have a special reason for it, then use var.
What kind of special reason is that?
Probably.
Global and local.
Yeah, I think there are some reasons, but.
You can access var by global,
Yeah.
assigning as a global variable.
But let also, right?
Yeah, but sometimes it
Like-
doesn't fit.
If it's
Yeah.
within a block,
Yeah.
so if it is within open curly bracket and close curly bracket, it's only visible within the block. Can I just?
Yeah, exactly. Please do that.
You don't have.
We can bring one from somewhere.
Okay, you continue and then I'll
You can
explain.
use
Can I-
drawing program.
Huh? Can you? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's
Okay, there's something called global variable and local variable. Okay, local variable is only visible within the block. That means it's not visible outside the block. Block are usually determined by open and close brackets, or in a for loop. We're going to do loop in a moment. For loop or a while loop where you have multiple statements. Okay, so maybe you carry on and then.
Okay. While he bring the board, so I can go to the next one because we'll not invest that time. Yeah, sure.
Can you use drawing program here because
So you can see in the video.
yeah,
I didn't set up the tools. Which tool you use for drawing?
any program.
I think next time we'll do it. We're not ready.
Yeah,
We're not prepared.
not prepared. Even though if you find the tool, we will not able to
We'll take a
efficiently
picture
use
and
that.
put it on.
Yeah,
Is that okay?
we'll put on the channel. Okay.
Because
Fun. I think it's a good.
this video we can see.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You can relate to the talk. Yeah, definitely.
We'll
I
do
think it's a
it.
good suggestion. We'll do it.
Yeah, we'll ask.
Yeah. So next stop is the value data type. So we have learned the data type is string. These are the data types: string, number, boolean, array, object, function, symbol, undefined. So everybody is comfortable with the string. Okay. So if you're comfortable, then I'm not going to details, right? And number. Number can be anything, integer, float, or anything. And boolean. Really, all? Who is not? Please, who is not? Please raise your hand so I can go to deep. No one. Array. All comfortable array. Object. You're not.
I think we should cover objects a little bit.
Okay. So object is another type of values. And the syntax is like here. You will be using this curly braces. Yeah. So these curly braces, and in object you can assign different key of your choice. So in array, if you look at here, right, 1 to 3, what is your name, something. So 1 comma means one small little box, a box, and then you use the you access the value by index, right? We learn from 0 to incremental number, but in object it's not like that. It's not 0, 1, 2, 3. You define yourself. It's always you should define. So here you're defining the index is a name, index is a age or something. So it's more readable, it's more useful. So in many cases nowadays everything is like object, and array is like sometimes you use for a different reason, and array is also mostly useful. So this is the primary basic difference for now, and there are a lot of other things you can do. And one more thing, whenever we share data, right, from one application to another application, we always send as a JSON object. So JSON data type, so it's always an object, not an array. So it's whenever we want to exchange some information, we use the object. So probably this is a good explanation for that.
Okay.
And in object, one more thing, you can assign any type of value. For instance, you can say the first name is a name and age is a number, right? So you can mix the data type. Yeah. So this one we'll cover this one, then we'll go to drawing. So the function, anyone is not don't know the concept of function? You don't know. Who don't know? You don't know. Anyone? No, it's a good one. So the function. Actually, I guess we have a dedicated topic for function. Yes, can we cover here the function? Samara, we'll cover here, okay?
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
So
But let's
actually,
do the-
I planned some thing for the function in this, so we'll take it there. So probably I can go to the next data type. And symbol, actually symbol, I don't know, I have to see. And undefined, so many times, sometimes you can see it's saying undefined, null or something. So undefined is also a data type. So
What about no? More than undefined, I think.
okay, so probably we can try the example. So let's say let name 3, right? And I say console.log name 3. Okay?
Because you haven't given it a value.
Initiate.
Type of
So just to identify the value output, I just added some. So it says undefined, meaning that you declare this one, but it's not registering actually. It just okay. You just say okay, you want to do something, but you haven't done anything here.
It's a bit like the envelope in example. You have
We
a
haven't
envelope.
initialized.
Initialized,
Yeah,
yes.
you have a name on the envelope, but you haven't put anything inside.
I have put place in the memory.
Yeah, you just put the place.
Yeah.
there. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
that's true. Very nice.
what about no?
What about none?
Null.
Difference between null and
Yeah.
undefined.
Null is a value. It points to a null.
I have a question.
It's not
Yeah.
undefined.
It's like
It's nothing.
They have put we defined box, but we didn't put anything. We have a box.
No,
Yeah, that's undefined. But null is we put null there.
We put null there.
Null is a value.
So for the question here, it says null and undefined. The value and values null and undefined are similar in JavaScript,
They're a bit different. Yeah.
but they behave differently. So basically, it is almost same, but they behave different. For instance, if you say
You create an object.
you know this if condition, right? So what it will print? This line. This one, what it means? So I didn't assign any value, right? I said not name 3. Not means I said there shouldn't be any value, right? Which is right. I haven't assigned any value, right? So then it should print the line. So basically, it's a condition, and here the thing it should, if it's true, the boolean, if it's true, then it goes inside and do this work. Otherwise, it doesn't do that. Let's see what it does.
because you have to. If not, you have to remove null. Yeah.
The value for
You put the if name is 3, but you don't put value.
I put null. If it's null,
No, it is JavaScript consider null and undefined false.
in both cases it's doing it. But anyway, I'll find more, good use case for this one.
But null is usually used with reference to objects.
Hmm.
So if the object doesn't have any values in it, it will be null. And for the other ones, if you don't put anything in it will say undefined. That's the difference.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So we have discussed the variable has been declared and initialized. What is variable has been defined? A variable has been defined.
Defined is the same thing.
Same.
Defined.
No, I mean it's been declared,
Declared,
and
but you
afterwards
don't
it's
have to
been
put a
assigned a
value.
value.
Yeah, define is like.
Declared is when
Yeah.
you might not have put a value in it. So you've declared.
Okay. So I will find a proper use case for the null and undefined. I will let you know later. But so we have learned a lot of value type, right? And then how do you identify? How do you know actually this is a number, this is a string or something? Any idea?
Type of.
Yes, exactly. So here it mentions this type of operator. So it's an operator. It's not a value or variable. It's operator. So basically, let's say I have defined a variable called foo and assigned some value, right? So it's look like a number, or probably like this one. For instance, 42. So what you see here, it's just 42, right? So it's look like a number, right?
Yeah.
But is it a number really? It's, you can go to the code and see it's not a number because you can see that it look like a string. But in many times, you will not see the difference when you are receiving data from different system as in JSON object. So you don't know actually it is coming in which format or something, or in many other situations. So in that case, how do you differentiate or identify which type of value it is? So you just define like this way. So you can say type of X, right? So I want to say string. So if I remove the quotation mark here, so it will say it's a number. If I write here, it's a boolean. If I write nothing, it's an undefined. If I write null, it's an object. So she said null is not, it's a value, but undefined it's not a value. It's like undefined. It's a state you can say. But null is an object. You can do a lot of operation with that.
For example, in the future, when you create an object and you want to check if there's an object, you will do something. If there's no object, you'll give a message that you haven't created an object. So if not null, that means you have an object.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think when we do a bit more object-oriented, it will be a bit more clear.
Exactly. That's true. And so this is an operator, right? This is a keyword. Operator. Okay. And then next is like string indexes and string properties. So see here, we have declared a variable called something, and then we assign some string, right? So this is a string, and then they are accessing like an array, right? Why is that? So my question is, it's printing H, right? Normally it's a string. It's a type of, you can say the type of as well. just to remove the confusion, right? So see what is the type of. So the vars is type of string, right? But we can also like an array. Isn't it confusing?
No.
No?
Actually,
Why is not?
That's useful. I didn't know that you can call, like each individual character of a string like that. It was an array.
Yeah.
There's a little theoretical stuff behind it, because characters are primitive data type. Means there's a equivalent conversion to the computer. Strings is actually concatenation of all the characters. So it's more like all the program, so all the languages have it. But with the computer, it can understand characters.
Yeah. So yeah, that's true. Also, in my theory, it's like in the real world, everything is an object. Value is an object type, object. So in object, you can do this sort of operation. For instance, I think you all said you are comfortable with the object, right? So let's take some example of the object first, then we will clear this one. So let this is an object, right?
Object can be a person also. Person.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can say person.
And his name.
Yeah, it's good name you suggested. Yeah. So person, yes. And then how can I access the object? How can I read the value? I can read I can say person like this one, right? So it will print the everything, right? Name and age. If I want to just see the age, how can I access this? Person dot age. Who agree? All? You don't agree?
I agree.
No one.
There's another way, right?
Yeah.
So it's printing 24, right?
And
So
you can also use the square brackets.
what is the another way? Square bracket. Exactly. That's true. So object is also can behave like an array, right? So you can also define like this one, this
you
way.
Can remove the age.
Oh, sorry, it's not there. We should actually, otherwise it won't work. So it's printing the same, right?
There was an advantage about using this way, but I can't recall.
Yeah, but in some situations, yeah, you will explain.
I would use the dot one, because then it's more like a real world thing. Like you have some attributes, my attribute A, attribute 1, attribute 2, attribute 3. So I would do that. I wouldn't encourage the array one, but it's good to know.
Yeah.
Because not everybody's going to program right away.
Like sometimes there is a name like you put like underscore, then you cannot use dot.
Yeah.
So
Sometimes we need to alter the array also. The properties.
Yeah. So if you
So
want to make it, or if you just want to see what they are without, if you don't know, for example, if you don't know what's the characteristics of them, then you can just go through the array and print it out. Did you understand that? No?
Sorry.
No. What I mean is, say you don't know, somebody's given you an object and you don't know what other individual characteristics are, but you just want to see it. Then you can call it as an array and just print from 0 till the end of it. Then you can see it.
I think that it's more traceable.
Yeah.
If you want to go to some specific attribute like person, age, or color, then person dot color, it's more traceable.
It's more readable. Yeah, that's true. So anyway, so you can also access the string like an array, like using an object, right? The index, and also it has a length property. So meaning that if you dot length, it gives you the number, and we just use the length for this exercise, right? In the name arrays. Yeah, and there are a lot of keywords like that, like a lot of property.
Method.
Okay, that's why I said, okay, now I remember actually why I said it's object. So basically it behaves like an object, right? So as you see that we can use the person dot age, right? If we write like that, so what it prints, and then if we do like that name, what it prints? Names, right? So in JavaScript, whenever we create some string or something, so it creates an object in the background. So, and also give you some default properties. What is this called? Object has. These are properties. These are properties. The properties, one property, second property. One property has an index, has a value, right? Yeah.
So when do you call it property and when do you call it key?
Key is this one, which with the one you call the value. Like here, we are calling the value, right? So we are printing the John. So how we are calling the John with the index, a key,
is the
key
same
or
as the
index.
attributes.
Yeah.
Do you say attributes?
Actually,
I said
if
not-
you space, then it's easier. If you space, if you put age into other line, then it's easier to explain.
Yeah.
sorry.
If you put the age into this into the other line, age should be under name. Age should be under name.
Yeah, you make like a line break
Yeah, line
to
break.
divide the.
If age should come under the name, just check it
Like
out.
first
Second
line
one.
should
Okay.
have let
I
person
think that's
name.
Should I
There are
No, no.
there in the first object, let person is equal to name.
Let person.
Age should come down after the comma.
Okay, okay,
Like this, so it's easier. So the name
Oh, okay.
is the
okay. Yeah, yeah. Now, so this is an index with before the colon, or we can call it key. You said key, right? Mostly we use call it index. Key and index are same.
Index,
Index we call it is key.
array.
Yeah, this is also an index, but I mean index means that it's an concept. So you can access with some key and then get some value. Yeah, that's definitely for object. It's the word is key, and for array it's index. But you know,
Because you can
It's
think
no
of
matter, you
object as
just-
an
yeah.
array of elements,
Yeah.
you can do index as well.
okay, guys.
But my question is like, when do you call it property and when do you call it key?
It's the same thing, said in a
So I
different
can
way.
just
Yeah.
interchange it.
I think what Abid is
if you
saying,
take
they use
hobbies
key.
and add 3, 4 in an array, then it will be clear. If you take hobbies, add hobbies after age,
yes.
hobbies of a person, and then as an array, it can be photography, fishing.
Coding.
Yeah, so you can use array to define an object as one of the attributes, and then you can access the hobbies also.
Yeah, definitely, you're gonna do that.
I think my confusion is mainly
The name,
the
terms,
term.
okay.
Yeah.
I think what Abid is saying, use key.
Okay.
I think that's better, isn't it?
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the
It's
thing?
like, can I just do a little bit of the objective to conceptually ইয়ে করে দিব? আচ্ছা,
একটু পরে। অবশ্যই, yes, definitely. Okay. Yeah, definitely. We'll clear the confusion, but before that, I said in the beginning, this is string also an object. That's the thing actually I want to explain. Then I'll give it over to you. So I said like this one, right? Is an object also it behaves like, right? And the reason
is object is because remember I said that characters are primitive type. So characters is a series of strings. So string is an object.
Yeah.
That's why it's object.
Yeah. So basically,
But we treat it like a type.
yeah.
But it's a built-in type.
Yeah.
You didn't define it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So if it's an object, you can call you can access like this one with dot method, right? So you can see the similar behavior when it's a string. Here we call hello world, and we are writing dot length, right? And dot length and what more? Dot to uppercase, dot to slice, many other things, right? So basically, it's behaving like an object, and you can use the dot method and write something which is built-in, which is coming from JavaScript. So that's why I said it's like an object, behave like an object, but it's a string data
It's a
type.
built-in object.
Yeah, built-in object.
That's the difference.
So, yeah, in the real world, in background, it's like treated like an object. So you can have this all this
Object with
functionality. Yeah.
series of characters. Indexes are the keys. 0 is one key, 1 is one key. But because it's a string, it's better to do it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 to the length of the arrays.
So it's almost there, and I'll give it over to you. So then you can use the length, and you can also use the uppercase to make it everything uppercase. It can do like this one, the example. And slice, probably Jisan have used this slice for his own homework. So basically means that you can just slice it like slicing like in the real world.
Use the index and then insert the amount of elements in the
Yeah, exactly. And see, it is an array. sorry, it is a string, but it's behaving like an array, like index. You're saying, right?
I mean, basically, a string is
It's an array of characters. Yeah.
Characters, yeah. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yes,
That's true.
that's true. And then you can do all function, all bunch of things. Also the numbers. Yeah, and then array we have discussed a lot. Yeah, that's
And
it.
the reason strings are, you might think that why are we learning strings? The reason, when you think about real world data, it's made out of strings or numbers or images, right? Can you think of any other categories? No, you can't. So all of them, of course, images gets converted into numbers ultimately in the computer, but that's why it's really important to understand how strings are manipulated.
Yeah.
Right?
So now it's over to you for this, you know.
Okay, I'm just going to
Object.
do I'm just going to do the global and local variable, just clarify that, and do a little bit about the object from conceptual point of view. Okay, so when we said if something is global, you divide, let's say x equals to 4, right? So that means if you have code from here to here, so you have lines of code. That means x is still, unless you change it, x is still equals to 4. Right? Because this x is visible even when you're here, because I haven't changed it. Okay. But say for example you have I know we didn't do for yet, right? But,
No, not
but
yet.
anyway, you don't need to know in terms of, I'm not doing for loop, okay? I'm just saying if we have a block of code like this, okay, and if I do let x, so is equals to 10, okay. Can everybody see this? Yeah? Maybe I need a better one. Now, is this x same as this?
No.
Yeah. Tell me why?
Because like it's like global variable.
Yeah, it's because this is within this block, open and close. It's by the time it's here, computer has no recollection of that. It's like an old lady. Short-term memory loss. Okay, so no recollection of x here. But this x, when I print out x here, it will be 4. But when I print out x here, x will be 10. 10. Listen, so that's the difference between local and variable. It's good to declare variable. If you're going to be using x here, it's better to define the variable here. Why wouldn't I declare this 10 that I want to use here? Tell me.
Because you cannot access from outside. From outside the file.
No, if I did it here, I would be able to access it here.
Yeah. So no. Like if you want to, you cannot access like
Global variable you can use both.
Yeah.
Local variable you cannot use.
Yeah. So the idea is that if you use it here, you can only see it here.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the thing. And the reason I said if you're going to be using a variable only within this block, it's better to declare here. Because if you declare here, as you open the computer, a memory is saved. So you're wasting memory. So when you do like real games programming or where memory efficiency is important, then you need to think about where you use the variable.
But how important is, I mean,
It depends on the application. Safety critical, yes, very, very important.
I mean,
if somebody's
it
going to
can-
die or live or die, yeah.
it can really make like the difference.
Sorry?
It can really make the difference.
Different, depends on the application.
Okay.
So it depends on where you go. In games programming, I think this is very important.
I think in a long script, you need to define a lot of variables.
Yeah.
So probably in some situation you need to use the same name, right? In different occasions. So then if the variable lives for long, then it replaces the value. So you need a scope variable. That is very important always. We struggle with a lot. So probably we can reuse the name over and over again, so it doesn't interrupt. So as she mentioned here, so x is 10 in the uppercase, but in the block it's just redefining the value 10, and then we are just getting a 10 in this scope.
Just yeah.
Yeah, that's the difference between lit and var.
Yeah. So when you use var
Yeah.
on the top, then it's even in the inside it will be global,
Yeah, global.
and that's why I think they're encouraging you to do let and
Yes.
const, right?
And also, for instance, in real life, like for instance, you're a student here, right? But if you go outside, probably you're working, right? So you're the same person. So in this scope, you're a student, and if it's a var, then you will be a student there as well. They will not treat you as an employee.
Like example.
Yeah.
Very good.
And just a very quick thing about objects. So for example, each object is unique, right? When we define an object of persons, like with my name, my address, my telephone number, all of those defines me. Okay, so each computer is unique, so it has specific characteristics or attributes or keys. So and when you want to access it, you do it with the dot key. So, oh, thank you. I don't know whether we should do classes a little bit.
Yeah, no, not class.
Not
Class is
just objects, okay.
JS2.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
But the idea is that each object is unique and it has specific attributes and or keys. But if you change the keys, that means that object's information is changed. For example, in a customer, when we so we have address. Say I move, customer moved. So customer, say customer 1. I am a customer 1 for this organization. So this person is moved. So customer 1 dot address, you change it. That means the object is still the same. It's just the values change. So the location for the object is the same. But all we're doing is you can change the value by dot. There's just one more thing I want to talk about. The dot operator. Whenever you see a dot operator, it's either to access a key or to call a what?
Method.
Function. So all the ones that Abed shows dot length, is length a function?
Method.
Yeah. It is a function in string, length or attribute.
It's a,
Is it the
Method.
length is a
It's a
key.
function.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I call it property
It's not
then.
method.
Property.
Yeah. So basically, yeah. Now I got you. So in object, right? You can see a name colon some value, right?
I do get the concept.
So this one, right? A name is a John and age is age
So those are
24.
keys.
So everything, the total, this one, the selected one is a property of an object. So this is a property, this is a property, and everything is a property. And method is also a property. It's a different type of property. yes.
It does a work.
Yeah.
That's the only difference.
So
it has a value. Keys has a value, and function might return a value, or might not. It might just do a job.
Yes. And on property always has two things. One is the name, and there's the value. And name, you can call it a key, you can call it an index, you can call it a name,
Call it what you
anything.
like.
And
You
the
have-
value is always variable. It's not fixed. It can be changed anytime.
A lot of people, what they do is some of the kind of initial mistakes that people can make is like, I'm going to say name dot address, and you haven't defined address. Don't expect to get something if you haven't defined it. So if you have an object that you have defined all the attributes, but you think you have defined it, but you didn't.
Yes.
If you haven't defined it, you won't get it.
Yes. And we'll talk more about the object in here, right? Advanced data type object. We'll go a bit more deep inside. Okay? Yes, please.
So for the variable, I still have one question. So for example, I declared a global variable, and
Yeah.
later on I wrote some other function and I call it. Can it be changed? But if it's changed, is it still the same variable? Or because when I think about it, it's like I want to store some value in the variable, but I want to later on change it. Is it like a good practice?
It's not a good practice. That's what they said. You somehow pass the value, and then you change. But you can use do that with var keyword. Should I do the example, for instance? Let's do it. Okay. So can you give me the example? What's the variable name? X, right? X equal 10. And you said you're doing something, right?
Yeah.
For now, I'm using a for loop, okay? Or while loop. True. Where is it? Okay, so now I'm changing the value to 4 as she mentioned, right? So console.log x. So what do you want to do? You want to keep it as a 4 or 10?
change it into 4.
You want to change. You expect to be 4 here, right? You said I declared the variable in global scope, so it is 10. Now I change it to 4, and it should remain 4, right? That was the idea, your idea, but it will not do the Let's see what it prints here. Statement.
Returns spelling.
Sorry.
Return.
We don't use return in while. We use either in function.
Yeah.
Sorry. It'll do unlimited, right?
You can say when while x is smaller than 4.
Yeah. Less than 5. So.
But this not happen.
No, it's like
That's
we
not
need to
happening.
get out of the loop. Yeah, we need to get out of the loop.
Yeah.
It never goes into the loop anyway.
Yeah, it's greater than.
It's like infinity loop.
Greater than.
It's 4. Interesting.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
You ask about constant loop, you put constant loop, so it will be take the value you lost x, you put it. You give x, you say 6. So if you don't let x, so it will be take the constant loop will look in. Now is x equal 6. It's global. Now it's global. So it's take no constant loop x. So it's give us 6.
I didn't get it.
By the way, this will be infinite loop.
Yeah, this is the infinite loop already. Yes. It's just rolling.
But the 4 it was fine. So
Actually, 4 is fine.
Oh, I didn't save. Okay. Okay. Any other way?
Now x is only x equal 4 is global.
What is global?
It's global because you don't put let. It's global now.
I don't put what?
Yeah. You do not
Let.
put let x equal 4.
Oh yeah, here
So
you're
it's
saying.
global now.
Yeah, that's true. It's 10, right? And what you would.
but my question is just exactly what you did. I mean, like, can I change the global variable later on and
Yeah.
not even good?
It will be changed.
But like, how is it changed? It's just basically because it's a number, so it's stored in the one memory, and then when I use some function to change it, it just like jump to
No,
another
no, no, no,
number.
no, 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 no. With the variable location WJ.
Uh,
I think what you're talking about is whenever something global is declared, when you start the program, say x. X has a location. Okay. And if it's global, so blah 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 blah. I don't know why we don't have the keys. Blah 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 blah. They're not working again. So here I'm changing x equals to. So globally, first when I start, I say I'm doing 20. Okay. I'm changing here x equals to 35. Okay. this one in the same location, 35 is changed.
So it stored the value for me.
It stores, it's like envelope. The envelope is still there. So when you're here, you're just changing and putting a different value inside. Think about it with a box. This box. So when you're moving house, you get a box for, say, kitchen stuff. And then you want to say that, oh, I'm going to change the kitchen stuff to my bedroom stuff. You take the kitchen stuff out, that's the value. And you put the bedroom stuff. The box still remains the same. Does that make sense?
So theoretically,
Not
this,
theoretically, really.
okay. So this variable x is gonna like store the
Whatever value you put it in.
whenever I change it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the location is the same.
Okay.
Okay. But with the global, with the local, where he did a function, when it says x, let x equals to 4, right? He did 4, right? This one is a different one, different location. So here it's 4. And when you come here, it has no recollection of this. Does that make sense?
Okay. Is it clear?
I think so.
Okay.
Just take some time.
I think we will learn more with the exercise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll have a break in 8 minutes. Before we have a break, just quickly look in the next topic. Operators, very quick one. So it's very familiar, right? Equal sign, not equal, triple equal. So basically this means that you are checking like this one. Is it true? Yeah, it is true. If it's true, yeah, it is true. And then it's not equal. It is true again. And what is this operator means? 3 equal sign?
Strictly equal exact.
The value and
and also
type,
type.
Exactly. It matches the value and type of. So basically double equal just match the value. So then sometimes we see the example, the 42 in the console.log look like a number, in the code look like a string. So that's the problem we have. It also have the problem in the JavaScript with the equal sign. It doesn't differentiate what is actually what, but it can be differentiated by these 3 equal sign. Okay, and if you do this exclamatory sign, it says negative. It's always revert the value to the opposite way. For true, false, like this opposite thing. And we also have more operators like they call relational operator, less than, greater than, equal. I think you all knows now, because with the for loop we have some problem. You are saying, okay, this is less than, equal, greater than. But who have still confusion with this operator, less than, greater than? No one. I think it's from pure math. And these are the also simple one: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. And we also learned the modular thing last time, right? Simple one, just to recap. So we are not learning here, we're just recapping. But these are the 2 important and special one. It's called operator, like and or. So you can, this is the sign, ampersand, and then or sign. And what this does, anyone? How can I achieve with this one?
And is like
What can I achieve? Yes?
You ask for both conditions.
So basically it only used in condition. That's the only place you can use it, right? In conditions. So condition can be in the if else loop places, also in loop, like the while loop we have a condition. We can write conditions there. So if you have 2 things, you want to compare them 2 things, then you use this operator to make both of them are true or false, whatever you decide. And or operator, like you choose either this one or that one, right? So for instance, today is sunny, also very hot, right? Is it true or false?
True. It's false. It's not sunny.
I said today is sunny and hot.
and
So sunny,
sunny.
sunny, is it equals to true or false?
It's false. It's not sunny.
Is it funny? Look at that.
Look at that.
Really?
I know what's the other condition you said?
And I said and.
Now I'll do the and later on.
Okay.
Sunny is equals to true, and what's the other one?
And temperature is hot.
What? Temp.
Temp hot.
Hot.
True.
That's true, right?
Yeah.
I'm sweating.
Sorry. So this is true and true. So the result will be true.
And to achieve it, we need this sign and this and sign, right? And yeah. And you can also do the in a complex way, like this one. Use this syntax, less than, greater than, and sign here. Anyone have any difficulties here in this example? X less than 10 and while greater than 1, then it's true. Okay. And we also have seen type of operator, right? Type of, yes. And assignment operator, assignment. So this one, I don't know, have you seen this one, incremental?
Yeah.
We did actually in the first class. So you can just increment the value by 1, or you can decide how much you can increment. These are the operators. And special characters. So there are some special characters, you cannot use them. Like you cannot declare a variable called let, variable called const. Like you cannot do this way.
It's a built-in stuff.
Let. You cannot do that, right? I cannot say let or let const, right? It doesn't work like that. So there are some special reserved. These are called reserved keywords. So that you don't use them, right? Like this one, the parenthesis, this bracket. And if you want to use them, you need to always quote like this one, right? Using a quote like this. So this one is reserved. These are the reserved special one, and it has a special meanings and a special name. So these are the names, and the meanings you probably know by using them.
Is there any difference between the backslash and the forward slash?
Mm-hmm.
There is a difference. I mean, they do different stuff.
I'm
I'm just asking.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, at least.
If you put it in the console, it will, with some other character, it will do different things.
Okay.
But this forward slash we use for what? Comments. And this one sometimes, I don't know, in all escaping characters, yes, right, good example.
So could you repeat that?
Escaping characters. Like you want to escape the next one, like new line, new tab, like that. Yeah. Semicolon, comma, colon, you know, strike. Anything new? Unknown? Then the next
Underscore.
one. Underscore, yeah.
What is that for? I mean, is that for?
It's a reserved keyword. Probably it doesn't have the special application, but you cannot declare variable like this one.
With the names.
You cannot just declare like that. You need something like.
What is the usage?
I haven't seen any special use case that underscore can do only. Like only this can do something. I haven't seen that yet. Probably there's something. Or just a reserve, special. Probably they will use it in future. Or something.
What about the tilde?
Tilde. Yeah, same thing.
There's a use for it.
What is
JS? In JS?
I think in latest one probably they're using in ES6.
The conditionals, isn't it?
Yeah, there's somewhere you can find also this carrot. There is use case, yeah, carrot for the the mathematical operation they use it for. Yeah. And the naming convention. 1 minute to go. So somebody corrected me like don't write the variable name with underscore. Is a camel case. That's a proper example of the naming convention. So there are a lot of ways you can define or decide to do writing a code. Camel case, Pascal case. So it's like the camel case which start with small one, and then Pascal case always a capital. Start with this one. Snake case is this. So only important thing is here is like variable naming and the functional naming. So always name the variable like a noun and function like a verb. Yes, exactly. So noun is like you are storing something like variable, right? Just give it a name, noun, and then function, it can do something for you. So that's a verb. It can do. So always try to write your like fetch movies, do something, watch movie, go home, like that. But variable is always like a noun. That's the two important ideas. But no one will stop you.
There are function expressions and function declarations.
Yeah.
And then there are arrow functions.
Yes, you will be learning this in JavaScript 2 module, not here. A declaration, expression, and the arrow function, all these things. And also there are other reserved keyword like if, else. So you cannot like independently use if, else. It has meaning. So you always can use them. Okay. It's just 1 minute over before we have a break. So let's have a 5 minutes break. Quick break.
10.
5-10? No, 5 minutes.
Just 5 minutes.
5 minutes break.
The
Just to
lunch
get
is at
some fresh
1:30.
air, probably. Yeah, fresh
Yeah,
air.
I think-
Or some coffee. Okay?